Selena and Nicole Marie. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, you guys are like my soul. Like, it doesn't even feel right to say, like, you're my friends, you're my bestie, you're my sister. Like, you are me and I am you.
Yes.
Bam, bam.
Soul fam, all that.
Absolutely. So, whenever I had the opportunity to have you guys on my channel, I was like, yes, absolutely. Because I have worked individually and jointly with both of you. Selena for 7 years, 2019, the end of 2019. And then Nicole for at least 2 years, maybe. I
Coming
think
on.
so.
Yeah.
And it has been life-changing at every step. So I cannot wait for you guys to tell us what is current, what is coming up now for you guys, and what are you working on? What's in your field?
We are so glad you asked.
Yes. For those of you who don't know, my name is Nicole Marie, and I am an energetic life guide. I work as a wayfinder, and basically, what that means is I am the GPS for your soul. I help you guide your consciousness and your awareness inward. And Selena here, I'll let her tell you about what she does.
Okay, well, I do energy healing primarily with the emotion code and the body code as a certified practitioner. I also use a lot of intuitive healing modalities. And one of the things I do is I love working jointly with Nicole Marie. Our different modalities complement each other very well. And it's been so much fun to co create in that way and serve others and bring like facilitate healing experiences for individuals, groups in an even greater way than we could have individually. So synergistically, it all works out so well. And my passion is just to help others go deeper within themselves, come back to themselves, clear trauma, and find their newest evolution of themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
so
let me interject because I went to a group meeting with you guys, and I have worked with Selena extensively. I've worked with Nicole Marie extensively. It was the first time that I worked in a group with both of you guys. And I sent you a message afterwards, and I was like, "What was that? That was like another dimension." It was amazing just to see you guys work together.
well, and that's the beautiful part, right? So like I said, I'm like the GPS, right? You're the car, you're driving. When we go on these meditations and we do these kind of group healings and group things, it's you. Whatever your tension, your highest purpose, whatever it is that you desire to do, you're in charge. And I have this ability to operate in both the energetic and the conscious field at the same time. And my ability to feel and sense my way through it with my awareness in both of them is probably one of my greatest gifts that I get to bring in spaces like this. So together, because I have this ability to consciously feel and sense what's happening in the field, and Selena's ability to tap in intuitively and our connection, what happens is that when I'm feeling a block or something in my physical body that's coming up from the group, I can guide her to it, and she has the ability to clear it off of us live time and give us context and say, okay, this is how this is how we got it there, this is what was keeping it trapped into the field. And it's so incredible because one of my gifts is being able, as a projector with an open sacral, is that I can take energy into my physical body, right? And I've gotten to a point in my experience where I know energetically where I stop and something else starts, right? And I'm usually pretty good at being able to hold that awareness of like, okay, this is their energy, and I don't absorb it, but I just hold it. I hold the awareness of it. And so when there's stuff in my body, I can actually feel my organs like light up. Like I can be like, oh, it's my liver. Oh, it's my neck. Oh, it's my ear. Like, and it's every time people's reaction is like hilarious because I'll be like,
That
it is,
one girl with the
yeah,
ear.
with my
And it's not
ear.
just your ear, but you mean it's your ear on
Right,
that
on that
person.
person.
Right.
But I'll like feel it. Then they'll start talking. And the one girl you're referring to, you know, and this one is so predominant because she was talking. Selena and her, we had moved from the group session and it had went into one-on-one time. And Selena was talking about her ability to like tap in and receive like guidance from source. And she was like questioning, and Selena was like, oh, is it, you know, indecisiveness? And the girl's like, yeah, I think that's what it is. And I was
And
like,
there was like some block
yeah,
there,
I was like,
right?
stop. It is not indecisiveness. It is her left ear. And I I mean, my whole
Her
system.
face.
Right. But that's what made it indecisive.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's because she
She
wasn't
still
able
was
to hear.
experiencing the
Right.
indecisiveness, which was a trapped emotion that I'm trained to identify and clear. But Nicole was able to bring even
The
more
source
context.
of like where the indecisiveness, and the beautiful part of it is that this girl's awareness, like she knew she had these ear problems. She said she had been dealing with them for like several months, and but that she didn't like, she wasn't able to like correlate like that was the cause, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as a weaver, as somebody who literally is able to be like, okay, this is the thread, here's where it connects, I'm able to physically use my body and say, nope, this is the cause. Like I can feel like the source of it
Right.
in my body.
Yeah,
So,
and then I can come in with the energy work, with the emotion code, the body code, and clear that block
right.
that she was able to bring more context to. And that particular girl, person on our live, she didn't come with the issue as, oh, my ear's been bothering me. It was something totally unrelated,
Mhm.
but it actually fed into that particular
Right.
issue, which is cool.
And so back to bringing it back to what you had originally asked, like the two of us together,
Yeah.
you know, yes, individually we both have incredible gifts, and we're very unique and different in how we access those gifts. But when we come together and we hold this space, it's like the depths that she's able to get to with the depth that I bring and the core of it. Like it's like she can clear things in people that probably would have taken her 3 to 4 sessions like individually, because we're able to really get into it and look at it like it's like almost like looking at both sides of the coin at the same time, and we're able to kind of like hold in that space back and forth and really just support, you know, a person's desires, whether that be, you know, alignment, right? Whether that be physical alignment and health, whether that be, you know, taking off the mask and stepping into who they were always meant to be in this world. Whether it be, you know, bringing more joy and creating from like love and desire, right? So there's all of these different layers and different things that we bring to a person's life. And when someone, you know, comes into one of our programs, they may not be coming for the same reason, right? Somebody might be coming in because, you know, they just want to be more healthy and they want to be able to live a more aligned and supported life. And while someone else might be coming in and they want to, you know, really create and step into their purpose and be seen without the mask. And all of the blind puppies. You know, the beautiful part is you don't have to be in the same place, right? You come as you are, where you are. You come open, ready to receive, and whatever it is that you are meant to receive, you receive.
Many times I've worked with either one of you, and even in that session that I did with the group, I didn't know that there was stuff that was underneath the surface until it came to the surface. And I was like, oh, I'm ready to heal this. I'm ready to release this. And then, you know, we always get it done. And I love that. So you guys, the next endeavor that you're doing is going to be jointly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's called Frequency of Her. And I love how I would like to go back for a second because you said that you didn't know that it was there until it was brought to the surface. But actually, We didn't bring it to the surface. We brought our awareness down to it.
Ooh.
And the way we did that is with a framework that I created called the Way of the Six. And I don't even like to say that I created it because I
It
feel
was
like
given to you.
it was a gift. It was a literal gift from the earth. And so my awareness was just able to be like the creator, the piece, or the arranger of, how it all comes together. And so I would like to talk about that for a second, because that leads us into what we're creating, because that is the foundation of this next endeavor.
Yeah, and
So
I've been in that. I can attest for how amazing all those layers are.
yeah. And so when you said that, like, we brought it to the surface, but really in all reality, we brought our awareness down into the shadow state, into the void. And so the Way of the Six is the most foundational framework that I feel like a person's awareness can be brought to. And it starts with one simple phrase: we are of this earth, not on it. Right? We are of this earth, meaning that we are the same thing, right? The same elements that the earth is created of, we are created of. We are earth, we are air, we are water, we are fire, we are ether, and we are the shadow. And so this is the six gates, the six ways that we are able to connect with our body and go deeper into our awareness. And so when we bring our awareness into each gate, into each of our auric bodies, we are connecting with just that part of our elemental self. So we have the aura, and we talk about, a lot of us talk about the physical body, and we talk about the mental body, and we even hear sometimes the emotional and spiritual body, right? These are things that people have talked about, the different layers of our aura. And so the way we work in getting into the energetic field is I will consciously take you from your physical body, then we move into the mental body, the air gate. Then we move into the emotional body, the water gate. Then we move into the fire gate, the spiritual body, right? Then we move into the energetic body, the ether gate. Then we move into the void. That is the energetic field. That is where all of the unseen and the seen are met. That is where the shadow is. And so we are consciously moving into the energetic field. You have a way in, you have a way out. The same way in, which is earth, air, water, fire, ether, shadow. Once you get into the shadow, that's where all of creation happens. That's where you're able to look at your nervous system. That's where you're able to look at, your vagus nerve and what's happening. That's where all of your ideas and inspiration, that's where, and a lot of people, that's where a lot of their aspirations kind of went to die, right? Like they just went to the void because they were not, accepted in society. And so now when we do what we're working on, which is the frequency of H.E.R, when we go on this journey, we are consciously walking into the void to gather those parts of us, those forgotten parts of us, to bring light into our shadow, and to also create and bring those desires back into this physical world.
Yeah, because what's the point? What's the point if you go and you have this amazing like understanding and everything, and then you just soak in all of that?
Right.
It's bringing it back out into reality and experiencing it in your everyday, at your job, with your kids, with your family, with your friends. So I love the practicalness of that.
And that's the scary part, right? Is that, like, for some of us, you would think it sounds so easy. It would be like, oh, we're just gonna bring it back. And in all
No, I was in tears, dude.
in all
It
reality,
broke me.
don't realize how or why it got there until you're there, right? And for everybody, and this is where human design comes into this and gene keys, is that for everybody, that once you access that place, once we get into the void so we can bring everything back, your cognition is different. Like, so for me and for you, Emily, we will feel it deeply. Like I will physically feel it in my body. I will feel it through my emotions. I will my back, I will have physical, mental feelings, like every fiber of me is like, we're on. Like, where for someone like Selena, when she goes into the void, her cognition is inner vision. So she will actually be able to see. Like I will describe a feeling of sensations. I'll be like, oh, there's grass, because I can feel the grass under my feet. And she's like, yeah, I see it. And she'll be able to, like, I'll be like, okay, it feels like, someone speaking to me, and I will be able to translate that feeling. And she'll be like, oh yeah, they're wearing this and this. And she'll be able to like identify what that is. And so there's something so special about it, because especially when we have like gifts, again, like opposite sides of the coin, it's like how we experience the physical world, right? Like I feel things differently than she does, and the way she processes things are different. It's like we're able to consciously speak on that in the energetic, and the experience is like, it's like everything that is unseen becomes seen. And that's where all of life starts. That's where everything created was in the unseen.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you get to the void and then come back. So tell me, because I know about the six. So tell me how the six plays into her. And her is not necessarily a gender thing. It is harmonic earth resonance. So
Yes.
tell me about that.
So her frequency is the frequency of the earth. It's the harmonic earth resonance. It's the frequency in which humans and earth used to, back in ancestry, they used to operate together as one.
Wow.
And we became disconnected from that. And so it was through my own awakening and through my own experience that I even became aware of her frequency. And way back in my day. So I was in the military, and I
You're
know,
so young.
I know. That's why I thought it was funny. I think I'm the youngest one on this
You
conversation.
are.
But my wisdom ages me well beyond my
You're
years.
an old soul for sure.
I don't know if I actually don't believe I'm an old soul. I think I've just experienced a lot in this
Okay.
because out of all of like my actual earth, or my spirit fam, like, because I am a projector, and out of all of the projectors that I was like born with, I am the youngest. Like I've not been on earth many times. I've been on earth, but I was like a tree.
So you just like took a hero's dose for this lifetime. You signed up for all of it.
100%. Yeah, I'm healing both the masculine and the feminine and ancestral. Like we're like, it is on like Donkey Kong this lifetime. No. Okay.
Anyway, so in the military.
So I was in the military, and I had 8 surgeries while I was active duty. I was diagnosed with a condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and basically that means that my body doesn't produce the glue that holds it all together. Right? My body had a collagen deficiency, which is why how you and I met, why I'm carnivore, right? Because my body doesn't produce collagen. So me eating more meat-based and more collagen diet, that helps me stay out of symptoms with Ehlers-Danlos. I was also diagnosed with a condition called Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome, which is meaning that I was born with too many pathways to my heart. Now, normally, these two conditions have never been found in one person before. Welcome. So I was diagnosed with the first one in 2000, I believe in 2011. Yes, it was 2011. I was on the flight line. I broke both of my feet. My bones were brittle. We were working, getting ready for a deployment. We were working long hours, and we were on the flight line, and I just kind of like launched forward in my feet, in my boots, and the steel-toed boots just split just right across. And it was literally a 12-hour shift. It was the last thing of the night. And we go in, and my chief is like, Beltran, get over here. And I walk over, and he's like, what's going on? Like, and I'm like, I'm gonna be honest, Chief. Like, I'm tired. It's been 12 hours. Everything hurts. Like, I just want to go to bed. And he's like, no, you need to go up to see doc. Like, there's something wrong. And I'm like, I was so annoyed. Like, I was like, I'm tired. Like, you're right. Everything hurts. And he just like, he would not take no for an answer. So we go up to the doc. We end up doing an x-ray, come to find out both my feet just square, completely broken off. So they were, they were like, all right, what's going on? So they ended up having to send me to a different hospital to have surgery. And that was just like the tip of the iceberg, right? So we have the surgery. I'm 2 hours away from base. I'm now at an Army and Air Force base, like 2.5 hours in like outside of Seattle, Washington. So I'm like in the Tacoma area. And I start having the surgery and my body doesn't heal. My body's rejecting the glue. They're like popping the staples out, popping it was just like they put it in and it was like rubber skin. So they had to like put stitches, then staples, then glue, and they were like, don't move, right? And so for the first time, the first surgery that I had, my grandparents had to fly out. They stayed with me for like over a month and a half. I could not walk because if I put any movement or anything, like my body was like, we're not doing this. And that was the start of it. Like I was 21 years old when this happened. And from there, it was my right foot surgery and then back again to my left foot surgery because the surgery wasn't healing. And it was just this, like, what is happening? And the moment I got off my feet, the rest of my body was like, oh, thank God she's listening. So it became a whole thing. Then my hip, I started having issues with my hip. My ITB band started snapping. So I had what's called snapping hip syndrome. And so foot surgery led to hip surgery, which led to heart surgery. And so at first, when I got diagnosed with Wolff-Parkinson-White, they were very concerned because Ehlers-Danlos does have a variation where it affects the aortic valve, and it's almost always terminal. And so they were like, hang on a second, like how do you have this condition, but you're also having these problems, but it's not that. Remember how I said no person has ever really been diagnosed with both the things? So it took them a few months to really like verify that I wasn't type 4, which is Ehlers-Danlos, which is the vascular type. They needed to check all of my valves. They needed to make sure everything was good, that I wasn't having any issues with like the pressure in my valves. And so what that means is that like that with that condition, the pressure of the valves would actually collapse the heart. So they needed to make sure that that wasn't happening, right? And so once they verified that, then their mind blew because they were like, Wolff-Parkinson-White, right? Now it's the name of it is literally named after the 3 cardiologists that discovered this condition. So it's not like a unique name. It's they're the last names of the 3 gentlemen that discovered it. And so I'm finally walking again. And now we're having this time to like figure out what's going on with my heart, and off to another hospital a few hours away in a different direction that I went. Each of these hospital visits got longer and longer for me. One was
and
10
you were
days.
a baby.
I was a baby. And my family was only able to come out for the first surgery, right? So my first surgery, they came out and they were able to stay, and then they weren't able to come out. So I had to stay in the hospital until I was deemed able to fly. And then a medic would basically put me on the plane, and then my mom would meet me like at the airport. And so I think one of the stays, the longest stay was like 34 days in the hospital or something like that, with me and this cute little blind pup who was not blind then. He is 20 years old, but this was my service dog when I was in the military. I met him in Washington, and he stayed with me in the hospital. This dog has more frequent flyer miles than most people. And so that's what they did. They let me just bring him with me because I was 2 hours away from base. So none of my family unit, like from my base unit, could come and visit me. There was literally nothing that they could do. Like, it was just like, hey, go be in this space and figure it out. And it was kind of then when I started to like really question, what the hell?
Yeah, that sounds very traumatic.
With, I mean, that's when the mental illnesses really started to set in. PTSD, anxiety, insomnia. Like I felt so isolated. I felt so disconnected from literally everything, like
Mm.
from my body, from source, from my family, from support. Like the disconnection was real, right? And um then I got diagnosed with the heart condition, and it was time to have heart surgery. And my mom was able to. We actually, I had to go to San Diego to have that surgery, and so my mom was able to fly out with me. We were able to have the surgery and then come back. And then after that, I had the hip surgery, and at that point, the military looked at me and they said, "Listen, we are doing everything we can to get you walking again, but we're gonna have to, we're gonna have to." Discharge you. Like you get a,
Medical discharge.
so much. Thank you for your time. But, we're going to do the best that we can. So I was considered 100% permanent and total at the age of 23.
That's crazy.
So from 2011 to 2013, I had 8 surgeries. So you do the math. That's 3 years, like not even. And it was like literally every 3 months, like they would do enough just to get me to heal. And then I was going back under again. And now 23 years old, I got out, moved to Florida, came to Jacksonville. I wasn't ready to come back to Orlando area, but I was willing to go to Jacksonville. There was a base up there. There was Mayo clinics. There was some things that I felt like that was a good place. And so retired and moved to Jacksonville. I get to Jacksonville, and that is when it hit me how mentally disconnected and like hard life was about to be. Like it hit me. 23 years old, everyone that I knew was either like almost finishing up college, they were getting married, like they were starting their life. And I had just gotten handed documents that said, "Thank you so much for trying. There's nothing else for you." And so I would like call my mom, like crying, like, "What am I going to do?" And my mom is a lot of things. Supportive emotional empath, not one of them. So her answer was always, "Suck it up, Nicole, figure it out. We all got problems."
Wow.
And it's great. Like I love her for it, because had she not have been on that for me, I don't think I would be, I know I wouldn't be where I am today, right? Like I know I would not have been able to discover the path. We're all good, girl. Discover the path of her frequency. So 23 years old in Jacksonville, life is hard. I just got discharged from the military. Society said, "Thank you so much for playing this game." I was put into the VA, and it looked like I was sitting around waiting to die. Like, okay, cool. Now what? Right. So I got married and had kids because, you know,
What else do you do?
next, like, okay, this didn't work out. Let's try this. So I got married. And my husband at the time had 2 children who were the light of my everything. Like, if it was not for them, I probably would not have gotten up most days. They needed me. I needed them. It was a beautiful, energetic exchange. And it was like through them that I was able to see joy, right? Like
Mm.
it was like, they were so little. The youngest out of the 2 was 16 months when I got full custody of him. And his dad worked. And so it was just like, I got to like be a mom before I actually got to be a mom. And after so by 2014, we got married. 2015, we decided I wanted to see if I was able to have a baby. Now, remember all the medical issues we was talking about? So I had to go to the military doctors. I was still had the birth control in. It was a requirement for all females. I had the implant in my arm, so I had to, basically ask permission to get it taken out early. And it was a fight. Like it was not a, "Hey, yeah, we can do it." It was a, "Hey, you need to lose weight first." Then it was a, "Hey, you need to consider this first." And it was just like all of these steps. And so I was like, okay, fine, we're going to do it. And so we each step I lost the weight, came back, okay, let's go. And then they were like, we need to check your heart. We need to do this. We need to do that. And then it came down to, and me now sends love to me then, because if I knew now what I knew then, I think the conversation would have been a lot different. But then it came down to the agreement of that if I got the implant removed, that I would have to have a tubal ligation right after I had, yeah. So that was the agreement. That was the agreement. And again, I'm 23, like nobody could give me advice. Like I was having issues. And again, at the time, like I was having issues that if I took a shower and the water was too hot, my whole body would just like collapse. Like I wouldn't pass out or lose consciousness, but like my ability to physically hold myself up, done. And so for them, they were thinking of like, it's a safety thing, right? Like it's a thing that, we need to do this to keep you safe. And so I get it. I don't feel like anyone else should pressure or influence other people to make a decision, but I digress, right? So I'd agreed to it. They took it out. I got pregnant almost instantly. The pregnancy stuck. There was no issues. And honestly, when I was pregnant, something absolutely remarkable happened. My body began to like glow and heal. I actually lost weight pregnant in ways that I like you would never imagine. But everything was like it was like almost my second trimester was like almost like the picture perfect pregnancy. The first trimester, I realized that I was addicted to I was addicted to pills that I was given to while I was in the military. And I didn't even know you could be addicted to these things. So that was a very interesting thing. I was taking gabapentin and all of these different types of medications that I was on to just wake up and exist in the world. I was taking 17 pills a day. I took gabapentin.
You have to get off of them.
Yeah. Well, so they didn't really like prepare me for it, right? Like I got pregnant and then I just stopped everything cold turkey because that's what you do. Oh. And then I'm like in the hospital having withdrawals and they're like, wait, what's going on? So that was when they realized, they were like, wait, like, don't you have this condition and that condition? Like, where's the medication? I was like, oh no, I'm pregnant. Like, I don't take that. And so that was when we had to like kind of put it together. And then I got irritated. I was like, wait a minute, what do you mean I'm having withdrawals? Like, that's not a thing that should be able to happen. And I just started discovering so much. Like I learned that, you're really not supposed to take medication for longer than 30 days. It says it on the label.
And nobody teaches us that.
Yeah, but it's on the big pamphlet of stuff that they give us, right? So
but yet they're still okay prescribing it. They're covered.
It was insane. Right. But I again, not that I'm blaming, any system or anything, but I was 23. I had no idea. I was told when the doctor told you eat a carrot at 2:00, you eat a carrot at 2:00. When you drink, 3 cups of water with 3 meals a day, I did exactly that. So I was like at this point where I was just in complete shock and awe that this was even possible.
And right? It probably felt like gaslighting.
I got into an argument because the lady at first, she was like, well, are you like, I'm in Jacksonville, for goodness sakes. So like that, it's like that was, I guess it's very common for them to have people coming in there. And I'm like, no, lady, I've never taken a drug a day in my life. Like, I don't like those things. That's not my interest. Like, throw me into the woods for a few days and want to have a conversation, but that ain't it, So it was literally flabbergasting to me. Like my whole brain and being was like, I couldn't believe it, that it was happening. So I'm going through this time in my pregnancy and just kind of discovering all of these things. And by the time I got into my second trimester, like my body just did this reverse 180, right? And now looking back at it, it was because I had to rest, right? So my body was like finally not going and doing and responding. And so then all of a sudden my body had time to like heal and integrate. And so the pregnancy like took everybody by like shock. They everything they thought was going to happen didn't happen, and the labor was no different. They would come in. It actually became a running joke. So they would come in and they would tell you, the usual. They would say, hey, we have to do this. Everything's fine. 99% of people experience this, but 1% experience this, right? And then it started to happen that every time I was in the 1%, right? Like they would be like, oh, we just have to tell you this formality. It's like only 1% of the people would experience, because they had to they were trying to give me Pitocin because my baby was at 38 weeks.
To get the contractions.
Yeah, at 38 weeks, my baby was measuring at 8 pounds, 13 ounces. So they were like, we need to get this baby out of you because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if you're going to be able to go through labor. We don't know. So they give the Pitocin. They're like, okay, so, 99% of the time we give you the Pitocin, your body flows, everything's normal, and, your water breaks. And they went through the whole thing. They did all the steps. Nothing happens. Water doesn't break. Body doesn't start dilating. My body's like, yeah, we don't play by your rules, just in case you were wondering. So then they would come in again and they would tell us, okay, we're going to do this now. And this is how it's going to work. And again, my body was like, sounds great. We're in the 1%. So finally, after 3 days of this, we would just be like, just tell us the 1% and let's prepare for that. Cut the crap. What is the worst case scenario here? Let's go. And so they ended up, and this part is very important because this tells you how incredible the human body is, right? So then they end up going through this experience and they were trying to give me an epidural. My body refused it, right? Meaning they were putting it in and the adrenaline in my body was moving so fast that as they were putting it in, I was able to literally lift my entire leg off and the guy's looking at me. He's like, I gave enough to prep her for surgery. There's no reason why I should be able to do it. So at one point, the doctor looks at the anesthesiologist and was like, pull it out of her back. She's doing it natural. We don't have a choice.
Wow.
So you want to talk about how strong are you? I was able to figure out live time. I'm just both my hips dislocated. It was just everything that in every moment that I felt like I cannot do this. I am not capable. My body was like, yes, girl. Right. And in that moment, it was in that moment. I literally remember this voice saying, you have no idea how capable your body is, but you're about to learn.
Wow.
And it was just this this buzzing. And I'm arguing with this voice, but I don't want to. And I'm saying it out just take the baby out. And it was just listen, listen. And the baby came out. Everything was healthy. He was beautiful. It was fine. And I was able
and they popped your hips back in.
Everything.
Hips,
Yeah,
right?
well, dislocated. They had to stitches front to back. He was great. I had to be pieced back together like Humpty Dumpty. That's a different story. They put Humpty Dumpty back together again, right? And so I go through the process. I'm nursing. I stay off the medication because I wanted to nurse. I knew that was part of my journey. And as we got closer and closer to 2017, I just started blowing up like a balloon. I was 231 pounds at my heaviest. I had inflammation. I looked like I could be my own auntie, my own great auntie. It was crazy. I really, I'll show y'all pictures. I'm not joking. You'll be like, oh, auntie.
I know what pictures you're talking about.
Yeah, and
that is a true description.
It is, right? I look like I could be my own great auntie. It was crazy. And it's no judgment. It was just again, it was the extremes, gate 15 for those of you who have human design. It was the extremes that my body was going to, and it was showing me the capabilities of look, this is really what's going on here. So 2017, my baby is almost 2 years old. Actually 1 month before his second birthday. I'm 231 pounds at my heaviest. And I'm looking.
And you're how tall for reference?
Oh, 5'6".
Okay, so it didn't spread out well.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Girl. Like I said, great auntie, my own great auntie. So I look in the mirror and I remember looking in this mirror saying, like, I have no idea who this person is.
Mm.
So I decided that in that moment, I was going to lose all the weight and compete in a bodybuilding competition.
Why not?
Yeah. So my husband was in the bathroom when I made this grand declaration. So I barged in and I was like, hey, I'm going to compete in a bodybuilding competition. I'm going to lose 116 pounds. I'm going to do it in 13 months. And I'm going to lose the first 50 pounds doing keto before I get a coach just to make sure that I can do it. But I'm doing this. And he just kind of like couldn't go anywhere. That's a beauty. Couldn't go anywhere. I had him cornered. He kind of looked at me and he was like, okay, I'm not doing it with you, but okay. And that afternoon, I was going in and I was like sorting out snacks, getting rid of crap. Like I was consolidating things, putting baskets of like things that were for kids. Like it was like I was on like Donkey Kong. And for those of you who know me, when I get something in my awareness and we're doing it, come hell or high water, it's going to happen. like it was the first time that anyone in my field at that moment saw like this laser focus, like, no, I'm doing this. Matter of fact, my family, my mother, my grandmother, they thought I was absolutely insane. And, you know, at the time, mind you, I have 3 young kids, right? At the time, we have 3 dogs. My husband worked overnights full time, and I could barely walk some days. Like we're just figuring it out at this point, right? And he's like, "Oh, this is the path. This is the extreme path that you want to take." I'm like, "Well, I can't stay here. Like this ain't working." So at one point, we have to go from one wall to the other and figure out what sticks, right? And so I did it. That year was intense. My mom and my grandmother tried to convince me out of it. They're like, it's not a good time. I said, it's never a good time. There's never a good time to start something new. And I just kept saying it with them, and I would not get off of it. I was like, no, I'm doing this. I lost a very, very close friend that year. And even then I binged, you want to talk about sugar, I binged like a whole box of Dunkin' Donuts, like in a 2.5 hour period. I think it was like I think it was a baker's dozen. So it was probably 13 donuts, to be honest. Polished them all, felt all my feelings, and then was right back on it the next day.
Wow.
Stepped on stage, 116 pounds.
Wow.
Months later. And it was in that moment that I knew that life was never going to be the same for me. Ever, 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 ever. Right after that, now I'm feeling this high. I'm feeling the best I've ever felt. My body is banging. The girl got booty for days. Like I am with it. I'm like, ooh, yeah, girl. The clothes fitting tight. Like my hair was looking real good. My skin was cleared up. I'm like, oh, look at us. Like out and about. Like it literally like physically awoke something in me. Right after that,
I want to know what your mom and grandma said.
Oh, well,
I never heard that part.
So here's the funny part. My mom's very modest. Like if you could think of a more opposite human on this planet, for me, it would be my mother. And so, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen the NPC competitions, but like bikinis, like it is all the way up your booty. So like,
oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So my mom refused to see like she came to the show, but she refused to see she didn't want to see anything till the day of. And my son, it was the day of Nico's.
That's crazy because she's in Florida.
She didn't want to see it.
Live in bikini.
Nope, she didn't want nothing about it. Not with me anyway. She was like, I don't have no interest. I don't care what your booty looks like. That's between you and the Lord. No one needs to see that. Like my mom was not with it. And it was the competition was the day of my son's 3rd birthday. So we had it like all planned out that I would like do pre-judging. Then we did a birthday party at a local Steak and Shake. And then we did finals. And then I got to like eat whatever I wanted after that. So, and it was fun because like I was competing with a friend and neighbor at the time, and they had their kids there. So we literally had like a birthday party in Steak and Shake. And I'm in like this deep tan, like you can see like the glitter is just like reflecting off of me. And we get on stage and there's a pose where it's called back pose in your butt. And all you hear is my mom going, "Oh my God," like loud in the audience. And my son goes, "Look, it's mommy's butt." It was great. It was great. Everybody knew who I was after that. They were like, and my mom, she was like, "Oh, good God." Like she was just like mortified.
Like, come on, mom, be proud.
Yeah, she was like, could we have not seen that? Like she was, and it wasn't just me. Like it was just, she's just not like, that's just not her thing. Like just not
Hilarious.
yeah. And so that day, literally that day, I knew that, and like I said, the whole year, like that prep, there was life. Like, you know, I had lost a best friend. There was so much going on in our home. Like our dynamics were changing. Like it was a lot. It was a lot. And throughout the whole time, anytime something happened, they would be like, "Oh, Nicole, this is your hormone. This is happening because your body isn't used to it." And everybody gaslit me. Like, I mean, my coach, my husband, everybody. I was like, but I was so tuned in. Like I was able to tell you things were happening and I had never experienced it like that. And like I said, the day I stepped on that stage, I knew things were not ever going to be the same. 2 weeks later, I found out that my husband had been cheating on me for the past 6 months. Ironically, I knew that it was happening. And for 6 months, "You're crazy. It's not going on. It's not this, da 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 da." So I lost really 330 pounds about that first year because, you know, that happened. And now here I am a week before Thanksgiving in my physical best shape. And all of the sudden, I'm sitting here like my brain is like, "Oh, girl, it's about to start." Right? Now, think about this. Physical was first. Now, all my mind stuff was activated, right? He had been cheating on me.
Betrayal.
Right.
Betrayal actually turns into brain damage.
Yes. So now I'm sitting down. Now, mind you, disabled veteran, PTSD, all the things. So I'm sitting down with two of my best friends, two of my best guy friends. One of them was an Army veteran. One of them was an Air Force veteran. And we're sitting on the couch and we're all grown here. We're smoking, passing some blunts around at this point. Like, cause I'm like, what are we, like, I was just in shock. Like, what are we going to do? Like, I was off the medication. I was like everything was different. And I hadn't been on medication this whole time. Right. And so the one guy looks at me and he goes, we gotta figure out your mental health because that's what he's going to come for.
Oh.
He was like, "That's it. Like, that's you have to." Because now at the time I was having sleep episodes. I would wake up in the middle of the night completely disoriented and I would hit whoever was next to me because I'm like, I wouldn't recognize it. And so I'm like, "Oh, okay, let's just work on the mental part. Like, sounds great. Like, how do we do that?" And he goes, "All right, hear me out." He goes, "Our ancestors were once Vikings." And I was like, "Oh God, no story starts great with the Vikings, bro. Like the Vikings, that's where we're going. That's where we went. We went to the Vikings." So he goes, "But no, hear me out." He's like, "The Vikings, they saw great war. They saw all these things." And he goes, "They would come back from war." And he goes, "And they would make this compote tea and they would send them out into the woods for 3 days." And I said, "Okay, then what would happen?" He goes, "Well, only a couple things. Either they would come back fully healed, they wouldn't come back at all, or they would go into the nut house." Oh yeah, I like the odds. I said, "Dude, I don't know if that's
story."
I was like, "Dude, I don't know if that's the plan." He goes, "Well, mushrooms, they're they have been proven to really help." And now this was all back before. This was right before all of the research started, right? Mind you, like I was already raising flags at the VA for smoking weed and not taking medication. They had what's called red tape. They were like, they would come and they were like, they had red tape all over my file because I wasn't taking the medication, but they would have cannabis in my system. And I'm like, "I'm not doing it your way. Like, I'm not." And I think the only reason why I didn't get in trouble and why they didn't argue with me was because I lost 116 pounds and my vitals were incredible.
Wow.
So it was one of those, right. It was one of those things that they like, they couldn't say that I was doing anything wrong because the proof was in the pudding. Like there was physical results right in front of them. So he goes, dude, I really think that what we need to do is you need to take some mushrooms and we need to go into the forest for a couple of days. And I was like, I think I'm going to pass on that. And he goes, listen, he goes, herbs will talk to you. He said, if it's time, you'll know. 6 months later, I am at a Walmart. I called him up. I was like, dude, what do I need? What do I need to get? Just tell me what I need to get. I was at Walmart, girl. I was like, what do I need? He's like, well, you need a pack. You need some boots. Like he gave me a list and he's like, he was so excited. He was so excited. So we end up planning this trip and I believe 2019. So now we're in January 2019. And of all the places, right, we go into Big Cypress. Now, let me explain to you how this works.
What state is that?
State in Florida. Every state has a trail, right? And ours is called the Florida Trail. It's the FT. And it literally starts in the Keys, but like the actual like landing home site of it is in the Everglades. Okay. And it goes all the way up the state into the Panhandle. And each state, the first 30 miles, I think it's like a trophy thing. Like if you can get through this, you can get through the rest of our state type thing. So ours is in the Everglades.
Where the alligators are.
Yeah. So it's 33 miles, one way in, one way out. If something happens to you, the only way they can get to you is through medevac. There's no roads. You are in the wild. There is no back roads. There is no nothing. Like you are in the swamp.
And you picked there?
I didn't pick it. He did. I didn't even know what we was doing at this point, right? Yeah. I didn't even know what we were doing at this point. We were just going, right? I was just like, listen, you're right. This mental stuff is not working. I'm at your, let's go. Whatever. Again, gate 15. So we go in, we get everything. We have a backpack and a hammock. 1 mile in, we did it safe. So the guy whose idea it was, he was the lead. He actually did not do any mushrooms, but me and the other guy did the mushrooms together. And then the other guy was like our safety guy. And for those of you who have done mushrooms, you know that like, you can't like, if you do mushrooms one day, you can't do them the next day. Like the way it works in the brain is like, once those neuroceptors open up and they're functioning, they'll naturally come down and then they won't open up again. Like you can't do it the same way. So we had this plan, like we would do it on day 1, then day 2 would be a reflection day. And then day 3, we were getting the hell out of there and going to go find something to eat. Right. Like, so it was safe. Like it was literally, the intention was to like, go be with the land. So we go into the middle of the Everglades, drop, the mushrooms about 1.5 miles in. And all of the sudden, I see this most beautiful purple flower that I have, like God painted this flower, right? And it was like, and I can still picture it to this day. It was a broken stump, like it had been like, broken down from like a storm or something. And out of the stump, there was this small little like daisy, like this little flower that I bawled.
Oh.
Bawled. I just saw this flower and for the first time, I realized this is how we were made. Like, this is how we were made. And it was the most beautiful thing. Like it wasn't even like deep for me. Like that first day, it was just like, I just got to see like that I was part of all of this. There was no noise. There was no cars. There was no traffic. There was no cell service. It was me, these 2 guys, a group of 7 girls who we found at the camp, and a solo hiker. Like we had a whole group, like it was a party out in the swamp. Like everybody had the same idea. And it was just this moment of realizing that like, I am made of this. And there was this point we get to camp.
That was after you had taken.
Yeah. It was just like all of a sudden I saw, there was nothing, there was no mask. There was no, like I was seeing it real, right? Lifetime. So we're out there, and all of a sudden we're setting up camp. So the mushrooms are kind of coming down. So we're, moving around, and we decide, okay, we're going to set up camp. We're going to go a little bit higher on our dose at this point, because we had been just kind of like microdosing a little bit throughout the day. And so then we were like, we're going to do a full dose, and then we're going to finish out the night. Okay, beautiful. So all of a sudden, oh, and we met he's not a stranger because we're all one, right? But we ended up meeting this guy who was a solo hiker, and he ended up taking mushrooms with me and the other guy. So it was now the three of us who did it. And he was a Navy veteran, also out there for the same reasons. He had just gotten out. He was transitioning in his life. And so it was truly healing. Like, it wasn't like we were out there trying to party. It was like we were all in transition, and we knew that we were going to allow the plants to be our guide through this.
You had a therapeutic intention.
Yeah. Now, ain't no one going to tell me the power of prayer don't work, y'all. Okay? Because the whole time, from the moment we stepped onto that trail to the moment we stepped off, I kept saying, God, I know you have created beautiful things. I love all of your creatures. Please don't let me see them. I didn't want nothing to do with them. To the point where
gators,
I didn't want no point
frogs.
of it. No, we did see one tree frog, and it did land on my pack, and it was like hey, well, this is what you get. I don't like frogs. But no, we didn't see anything. And everyone else did, because there was like people hiking before us and people hiking behind us. But
God hears.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all ain't gonna tell me the power of prayer don't work. God don't hear he heard me. He said, I got you. And all the animals just kind of slipped away, and they were like, into the moonlight, right? Like, they just went back and let me do it. So at one point, when you're out there, you can only carry so much water on you. And so we have in Florida what's called cypress stones. And so it's all of these cypress trees, and they literally, you'll see them the way that they, on the horizon, they'll kind of make this dome shape. And the tallest tree is the mother. And where the center of that dome is where there's fresh water, right? So whenever you're in the Everglades or you're out, if you look in the skylines, you'll see the cypress dome. You go to the center of that, and you know that there's water. So luckily, there was one of those not too far from camp. So the guys were like, oh, there was a gator over there. Like, we're going to go wrestle this gator, and we're going to go get some fresh water. I was like, cool, great. I'm going to stay here. So, like, there was this cute little baby tree, and I was having like
wait. I'm trying to understand this.
Yeah.
Because I haven't had that Everglades experience yet.
Yeah.
And for those of us who are not Florida literate, how do you get the water? Like,
it's just at the water.
Is it the water that's already like at the bottom of it, or did the Park Service do something?
No. It's the water all the way at the, like, it's on the ground. But the cypress tree grows
filtered.
Right. The cypress tree filters it, and it grows. It's brown because the temperature.
But it's safe.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You still have to use a filter.
Okay. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to use a life straw.
Okay, but it's the safer water to filter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now we got you. We just don't want people to like, let's find a cypress and drink.
I mean,
it might be okay, but
I don't think so.
Okay.
So anyway, so I find this little tree, and the guys go in, they don't find the gator because, I'm close by. They come back, and I'm having like a full Titanic moment with this tree. Like, I'm literally holding it, and the wind is like on my face, and I am just grateful for the wind and grateful for the sun. I'm grateful for the dirt beneath my feet. Like, I just am filled with so much gratitude, like that a single teardrop like comes down my face, and I'm just so filled with so much love.
So cinematic.
I was so filled with so much love in that moment, and it was so beautiful. So the next day, you come down, and that day sucked, right? First day, beautiful. Second day, not because of the mushrooms. We weren't supposed to hit water until mile 9. We hit water at mile 7. And what I don't mean like a little bit of splish splash water, I mean water up to my, like literally
like
up to my thighs.
Swampy water. Yeah. You don't mean rain. You mean
like
treading through.
We are deep in the swamp. The water level is up to my thighs. There is no dry land around us. I am literally holding my pack above my head. There's limestone underneath the ground. My hips are going left and right. They called me stumbles. It was awful. I was questioning my choices. I was questioning why the hell I was here. Why was I on this planet? Why the hell did I pick these friends? Like, bro, every question that could come up came up in that moment. Like, I think there's a picture of like us on literally like we're sitting like on top of each other on the one spot of dry land that we found in like 10 miles. And like the two guys are having a cigarette and I'm just like our face is like, oh my, like you could, like the picture is priceless. Like you could tell every single one of us were over it. The one guy was like, this is why we don't take women out here because you're complaining. I'm like, dog, this sucks. Like it was awful. Like, I'm like, I'm gonna die. Thank God the guy behind me, nicknamed him Mantis. Thank God for him that he's like 6'4". Like his like legs are going like this. I'm falling. He's lifting me up by my back. It was literally the extreme from the day before.
And there could have been gators at any point.
Oh yeah, gators, pythons, like all the things. You're in it. So we get back from this experience. We survived. It was beautiful. We had this come down moment. And all of the sudden, I started seeing clearly. Like I was able to write. I hadn't written in years. I started writing poetry. Like it was poetry from like what I felt. And the poetry became the frequency. So I would have the mushrooms, or I had the mushrooms, and then the second day was when everything came alive, and I was able to write in that in between space. And so I realized that on my worst days, if I read that same poem 3 times, it literally activated whatever.
Shut up.
Promise to you. It started activating. And then now all of a sudden my spidey senses is tingling. I'm like, hang on, I need to try this again. So I took mushrooms a few months later, and I did it again. Same thing out in the woods. This time I wasn't in the Everglades. It was just me and the Lord. We were outside in a safe environment, and I was able to write another poem. And the same thing happened. And this poem, it was called My Precious Girl. And it was a gift that I was able to write to my own inner child. And it was just like, it was like my highest self to my inner child. Like, we see you. We see what you've been through. We see what you're filled with. We see what you're trying to do. We see that you see these beautiful things, right? And it was just these beautiful words. And the same thing, whenever I was having a hard day, something in my intuition was read the poem. So I would read it. And all of a sudden, whatever I was feeling would go down. Then I would read it again. Then my mood would change. And I would read it a third time. And all of a sudden, my frequency would elevate.
Wow. So you gave yourself your own medicine.
Right. So that planted the seed of, wait a minute. If the plants can show us the way, then we are the way.
Oh, say that again.
If the plants can show us the way, then we are the way, right?
Dang.
Literally showing me what was possible, right? And I think that I love the holistic community. I love plant medicine, right? I personally now am completely free of plant medicine. I can't smoke any weed anymore. My frequency is too high. It does not do well with my body. I haven't had mushrooms in multiple years. I use herbs for teas and stuff as support, but I knew then that it wasn't something that I was supposed to be dependent on. It was supposed to show me. It was there to support, not to anchor me, right? And so I knew that there was something else going on here. There was something else that was like it was leading to. Girl, when I tell you after that hiking trip, no more night terrors, no more, like it was gone. It was gone.
That's crazy. You would have thought you'd have night terrors.
No,
from that.
It was like, I knew that nothing, it was almost like it showed me that everything that was happening in my head was an illusion and only existed in my head. Mm-hmm. And so like, I was able, again, like whenever it would come up, I would just start writing.
Wow.
I would write it as if it was a story.
That's crazy because all I know you as is a writer.
Yeah.
And so I just thought that was there.
It woke up that year. So then, because, life happened. So we did physical body, then we did mental body. What's next? Emotional body.